Hi everyone, I'm Lydia Gilantigre from the LilyVille Educational Consultancy. I was recently at the NEC in Birmingham attending a fair, and just beside it was the Advanced Engineering Fair, which is the largest annual gathering basically of engineering professionals and manufacturing professionals in the UK. So as I was just looking at the exhibitors, I stumbled across a forum called The Future of Engineering and sat into a presentation about the state of the nation by the chief executive of Make UK, Stephen Phipson, and he shared some things that I thought are quite relevant for just for the LilyVille audience. So yeah, hopefully you stick on and learn a thing or two, and hopefully it informs young people and parents and guidance counselors, I would say, to just help plan careers or think about careers in terms of especially relating to engineering. In terms of manufacturing, the UK is ranked 11th in the world, and about 42% of the UK's exports are from the manufacturing sector. So it is quite an important sector. And turns out, yeah, this was quite new information to me that the UK is very good for research and development and innovation. But in terms of starting up companies and scaling up, it doesn't have the best track record for that. So apparently quite a lot of innovations and developments that have been made in the past 30 years have largely been exported to like the US and Germany, exported in terms of those countries have had funding and been able to scale it up beyond just being a startup. So the UK suffers from what in business I think is termed the valley of death, where there's that gap between translating research to commercialization. So it's not not every researcher is skilled, for example, to be a CEO, and there are lots of factors and all that are involved. So to be able to sort of help well, I say part of the strategy to be able to help overcome this valley of debt, or shall I say, in my own words, reduce the debts in the valley that relates to research translation to commercialization. The government is investing about £4 billion. British Business Bank, and I think they're doing that through the UKRI. And the aim of that is just to be able to provide some kind of, in my own words, some stability such that for scaling and to be able to allow innovations and research that have been done in the lab to be able to make them into large scale companies. A 10-year industrialization strategy being created by or at least Make UK were instrumental in that, and it's at the white paper state, I believe. And I think they've made it a fixed plan, so it's not that the change in government cannot affect it, but I think it will be less susceptible to like transitions in government if that happens, for example. So why am I saying this? If, for example, the UK is investing heavily in manufacturing, then you know that this is a sector that is going to have government support, substantial economic support. So vacancies and jobs will be created in that. So it is worth thinking about what kind of jobs that are relating, that can be what kind of jobs or careers that you can pursue as a young person, or even parents guide your young children into pursuing. And there's a lot of room, a lot of vacancies for vocational jobs, for example. I know that coming from the Black or Brown community, sometimes we attach some sort of prestige to some kind of jobs, but I mean, just going away from even the white collar jobs, for example, and thinking of things like welding and tool makers and service technicians. And these were things that he actually mentioned that vocational vacancies exist in such. And I believe that with more investment in manufacturing, they'll create more spaces for that. So it's something to think about. And then that quite a lot of experts, that the average age of experts of people that work in those fields at the moment is in their 50s. So think about it, in a few years they would be retiring, right? And who is training the next set of people that would replace them in those sectors? So there's also that gap between, I guess, training those that are current experts and have done this for quite a long time, and do we have sufficient people that will replace that? So yeah, there's a gap there that can be filled. So if you're thinking about that, maybe being the bridge between getting people that are experts, because yeah, to be able to train the upcoming ones that exist. And then talking about AI, said that typically it's the number of years it takes, for example, to be able to get compliance right now, it's about 5 years. So it said that a field that could potentially be explored relating to manufacturing, especially in AI, is compliance. So let's say that if, for example, you're able to use artificial intelligence to cut down the compliance from maybe a 5-year route to making it like 2 years, you could potentially double the outcome of manufacturing in that sense. So it's not a hard and fast rule, but just to think about that. So yeah, if you're thinking of careers, especially in engineering, especially as it relates to manufacturing, these are some of the things that you should consider. And their hopes, or should I say their best estimates, are that a full implementation of this strategy would hopefully move the UK from being 11th in the manufacturing in the world to actually being the 7th. So yeah, think about that. There's lots of prospects for renewable energy as people move more into green tech. So yeah, definitely things to consider. I would say for other sectors, for example, for manufacturing and possibly other sectors, the chancellor is going to present a budget on the 26th of November, the autumn budget. So going to find out what the government is going to be funding in terms of economic policies and all that. So that's to be on the outlook for. So yes, even though I'm coming from the angle of attending advanced engineering and telling you all the statistics that relates to manufacturing, if you're in other sectors, some of my thoughts are this. With career planning and strategizing like what your career is going to be in XYZ years, I think it is worth it to look at what current government policies are and what their thoughts are for maybe medium, short, and long term. Because yeah, I mean, there's the variable that there could be a change in government, but if they have similar things to what this 10-year industrialization strategy of manufacturing is, if they have such, it could be that there would be a bit of a stability in that. So, for other sectors, look at what the government is investing in when the budget comes out. Look at the partners that are working with the government to try and improve the economy in different ways and think about careers that could be potentially created or careers that could enjoy support, even if it's for a limited period of time concerning that, and then begin to plan and strategize. And it could just be that even if it's for the medium term, that you become an expert in that and maybe funding ends for that, or maybe there's a transition in a sector. It's a niche field, can go either way. It could work for you, or you could just end up just harnessing the transferable skills. So yeah, for other sectors, just think about it. And for parents, I would say that possibly guide young people in, I wouldn't, I don't advocate for imposition on young people about careers. I advocate for a guided approach, for example, because a lot of young people don't come from a very informed position in making careers, so in making career decisions, career choices. So not a hands-off approach, a hands-on approach in terms of having conversations with them, introducing them to your network, introducing them to credible resources that would tell them, okay, this is what actually this thing that you're interested in, this is what a career in it looks like. If you have your people that are in such, talk to them about it, look at the government strategy. I mean, there are some courses that are being phased out in the university because I do not want to say the word because they're useless, but it does come across that way. Even so yeah, with 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 the 21st century, unfortunately or fortunately, there is an overload of information. So, but then the resources are pretty quick to be able to access so that we'll be able to sort of make informed choices. So yeah, definitely. Um, those are the things. I don't yeah, in summary, there is a 10-year industrialization strategy, which is a white paper that is being looked at to be hopefully to be implemented. So keep an eye out for that. There's opportunities for AI, especially compliance in terms of compliance in the manufacturing industry. So those are things to think about. There are active plans to be able to cut down the value of debt. Not people not getting enough funding or enough funding to be able to scale up their businesses from research, more focus on trying to retain those developments in the UK. So yeah, think about that. And even if you're not in manufacturing, just let this inform you that these are adapt it to your own sector, adapt it to whatever it is that you're thinking about. And yeah, hopefully it works out for everyone. Take care.